Good afternoon, everyone. I, Yashaswini Trivedi, on behalf of Blue Rose Publishers, welcome you all to the book launch of One Action Towards Women's Dreams and Ambitions, written by Sanya Khurana. It's a complete pleasure to have you all here with us. I would like to introduce our author, Sanya Khurana, now. The young, confident woman you see today has a whole history of developments and changes, and I like you all to go through her journey, and I'll share it with you today. As a teenager, Sanya had a very low self-esteem and was filled with self-disgust for not being able to find herself fit enough for the world and people around her. Her path was set on the journey to find acceptance in the patriarchal world, even if it meant leaving her passions and ambitions behind. During her graduation days, she learned more about gender stereotypes and was extremely disheartened by that. In January 2014, her father gifted her a book written by Sheryl Sandberg, Lean In, Women Work, and the Will to Lead. After reading Sandberg's book, she started a Lean In Circle, which is a small group of people that meet regularly to work and grow together on her university campus with 12 of her friends. As she began leading a circle, consequently, she started leading her life. She observed a significant change in her confidence and self-esteem and then determined to discover herself and began to realize the need to initiate changes in a small way. Her Lean In Circle encouraged her to take small steps, and she began applying for scholarships and internships and even job opportunities she never thought she would get. She started doing things she was afraid of, like public speaking and networking with people. During her post-graduation days, she interned with IBM and Adobe and bagged various scholarships like Grace Hopper Scholarship, India Scholarship 2015, Google Women Tech Makers APAC Scholarship 2016, and Facebook Grace Hopper Conference Scholarship 2016. She started the Lean In India network with Rashmeet Kaur, whom we have with us today, and was the regional leader of Lean In India for 2 years. The Regional Leaders Program of leanin.org support top leaders in the Lean In community. She was invited to Lean In Leaders Conference in Palo Alto in 2016 and 2017, where she met all the regional leaders from different parts of the globe. In 2017, she joined Adobe as a software development engineer. Sanya is also a TEDx speaker, and in 2018, she gave a TEDx talk at JP University of Engineering and Technology. Lean In is a non-profit organization started by Sheryl Sandberg, Facebook COO, that empowers women towards their ambitions. With her book, One Action Towards Women's Dreams and Ambitions, she aims to empower every Indian woman towards their dreams. Blue Rose Publishers is extremely delighted to venture with you on this journey, and we feel extremely proud to be a part of this, Sanya. Talking about Blue Rose Publishers is a Delhi-based self-publishing house. Established in 2012 under the vision and guidance of Mr. Syed Arshad, Blue Rose Publishers now has more than 1,600 titles published in their names and specialize in publishing novels of all genres and in all languages. It's an honor to be associated with such supremely talented writers like Sanya. Now we would like to begin with the panel discussion, and for that, I'd like to call upon Rashmeet Kaur, Manishri Gupta, Urvi Juneja, and Sanya Khurana on the stage. Guys, please. Sanya and Rashmeet are the founders of Lean In India chapter, and Manishri, Urvi, and Aanchal are the current chapter leaders. Unfortunately, Aanchal couldn't be present here with us today, but I would now like Sanya to introduce all the panelists to the audience.
Hi, thank you all for joining me in this book launch. So I would like to informally introduce all the people who are sitting here with me. So I met Rashmeet Kaur in college. She was doing her mechanical engineering in Indira Gandhi Technical University, the same place where I had just started my master's. And I had just created the Facebook page of Lenin IGDTUW, where where she sent a message that she would like to join. And that's how the journey began. And we started the Lenin IGDTUW chapter, and we expanded it. And what we had done had actually crossed the borders of the campus. So a lot of people started asking us how to start a circle in their campuses. And then we thought of starting a Lenin India chapter to formally structure what we were doing. But we were young, and it was a difficult journey to start. So we opened up, we asked for help, and thankfully people like Mani, Urvi and Anchal came to our rescue. The experienced women who have been working in their respective industries. So Manishri one day called me because she was already leading a Lenin Circle in her company, and she wanted to contribute to Lenin India. And we also met at one of the women's summit at International Women's Day. So that's how we got connected. And later she went on to lead the content writing circles of Lenin India. We were just beginning, and we didn't know how to do. So she actually came up, and she really contributed a lot. Urvi has worked more with Rashmeet and Mani than me. But Urvi has last year, Lenin India did a very big, very successful Chicago booth event, and that was possible. I mean, the ideology and everything was possible because of Urvi. And yeah, and now I would like you to formally introduce your achievements. this is my introduction. This is how I got introduced to these wonderful people. Anchal, who is not here with us, again worked more with Rashmeet, and even after her own personal issues, she could not come forward, but she worked from home for the chapter, and now these three women are leading the Lenin India chapter. So thank you, guys.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Manishri Gupta, and Sanya has already given a brief introduction about me. You can call me Mani, and I studied to be a doctor, but then I changed gears, and now I'm working into the financial industry for the last 8 years. That's the formal interview introduction. The leaner introduction, yes, in my company, that's Ameriprise Financial. Since 2015, I've been leading this initiative for women, Women's Interest Network, and there I've been leading this circle since 2015. And yes, it's been a great journey. I am part of the first established circle in India, and the heroics of this circle, that's for some other day for sure. But yes, it's been a very pleasurable journey, and I would really like to contribute more to the Lean in India initiative, and that's why I joined Lean in India along with Sanya and Rashmi. And I think that's about it. Anything else that you want to know, please feel free to question.
I think we'll know about it more when the panel discussion starts.
Surely. Thank you.
Okay, so hello everyone. I think Sanya has pretty much explained how we met and how this whole journey started. And before coming here, when people are asking where are you going, I mean, this is a place I'm going to talk about our journey, and I might get emotional along the way because it's been a long way. I think me and Sanya say that a lot, that we have grown up with Lean In. We were 20 and 20 and a half. I mean, that was the age group we were in, and we still happen to be the youngest in the world. So we were actually babies. And we were brought up by Lean In and through the support of wonderful women that we met in India and outside. So which is why we say that, we love being here. And Okay, you remember my name, right? Rashmeet. Okay. So, besides Lean-In and the introduction that Sanya gave, I work with Honda Cars, and I'm deeply passionate about women issues because I've seen things around me, and I'm not one of those who can just sit around and wait for things to change. I have to take the lead. I have to speak up. So obviously, you must have guessed by now that I turned out to be very extrovert and I speak a lot. But then again, that was not the case with me. I used to be a very tied down kid for most of my teenage life. And post that, some incidents kind of changed me. And I thought, you know what? I don't care if they don't like my voice. I'm going to speak up anyway. And then over time, I had, like I said, grown with Lean-In and learned to use the voice that one has. And I think that's exactly what a book does. I love the idea of what Sanya wrote about because these stories are powerful. These are not from across the world. These are not from, firstly, they are in our own community and they are people of our age groups. And they are not out of the box successful people. These are regular people who are successful every day. So that's what I love about it. So yeah, that's that. And I think, yeah, that's pretty much it. I think we'll get to know each other more once we interact in the session.
Hi everyone, Urvi Juneja. I wanted to take a moment first of all to congratulate Sanya for this big milestone. Much deserved and big congratulations. A little bit about myself. I'm a senior strategy professional having experience in a variety of industries, banking, technology, and aviation, to name a few. And most of my career has been spent in UK and US. And when I moved to India, I was looking for a forum where I could sort of give my 2 cents back to the community. I used to feel strongly about the women empowerment issues, sore issues such as gender biases, racial discrimination, women of color, etc. So when I read Sheryl Sandberg's Lean-In India, that's when my first introduction to Lean-In happened, and I came across Lean-In India as an organization, and I decided to become a part of it. And today, of course, it's a passion project for me, and I love working for it and the issues that I strongly feel about. In addition, I'm also a Chicago Booth graduate. I've done, I've also done my master's from UK, and as a mother to 2 young girls, I love traveling around the world, and I like trying different cuisines. So that's a little bit about myself, and more when we sort of interact during the session.
Well, that's great. And the first question I'd like to ask all these leading ladies out here is that what impact does Lean-In have in your lives? A very basic question. Would you like to begin, Sanya?
That's a very long answer. I mean, starting from reading the book to taking small decisions. Ever since I finished the book, and it took me 6 months to complete that small book as a slow reader. So ever since that time, I've tried asking myself what I would do if I weren't afraid, and I have taken decisions based on that. So whether it was taking a decision to leave a certain college after graduating, whether it was to start a circle when I did not even know how to tell my friends what is Lean-In about. I actually had to watch the Cheryl's video and her introduction on repeated mode, and I actually had to memorize her words to explain properly, to communicate my thoughts to my friends, and then start a Lean-In circle. Whether it was speaking publicly for the first time and hosting a Lean-In kickoff session, whether it was going out and talking to strangers, meeting people. I still remember the first person I met the first time. I still remember the first person I went to, or the first person who came to me asking about Lean-In. I mean, those small steps were very difficult, and that has made me take more difficult steps in life, and that's what has that has been Lenon's impact on my life. Like every achievement that I have, like there is always a Facebook post thanking Sheryl Sandberg. Like, there is no like I became a software developer. Thank you, Sheryl Sandberg. You gave a TEDx talk. Thank you, Sheryl Sandberg. Sheryl is like, I've not done anything, but but even she doesn't. I mean, whenever I tell her, or whenever I tell Lenin team, even they don't realize the impact that they have, and they don't take credits at all. But it's completely their encouragement, their support, and support of so many women that I had because of the Lenin community.
That's lovely. Rashmi?
The answer is pretty much same to what Sanya said again, because like I said before, we started out young and we did not have any clue what we were doing. And I remember my own issues at that time. I was like a crackhead. I'm like, I can't do this. I had anxiety issues. I was stressed about pretty much everything in life, from my personal life to my professional life, everything. And that clarity was brought in because of Lenin. I just quote one particular instant. I remember I was 19, and it was like just, I was about to turn 20 and everything, and I was like, oh god, I'm going to hit the new decade. I'm still that same stupid young girl. I used to feel like that point. And at that point, we were a part of our Lenin circle, and the very first one, the very first one Sanas and I had in our campus, there were just 10 girls as a part of it, and my work in that circle was to have a book club and read good stuff, and expand your horizon and all of that. And in 1 year, we guys had pretty much gotten very close. At the end of 1 year, I was going through a very difficult personal time, and I never had the habit of going out and asking for help. That was one thing really bad about me, and that's the first thing that Lenin taught me. So these girls were trying to get in touch with me constantly, and I did not respond until one day they actually came to my place and like, what's happened to you, what's wrong with you? And that's the day I realized, oh my god, I have people with me, I have people who understand me and who will be there for me. And from then even till now, we 10 are like the closest pack ever. And that's the first thing that Lenin taught me, ask for help. And that's the one thing. And over time, like I said, we have grown up with Lenin. And I think I used to think of myself as a young stupid girl. I don't think of that anymore. I'm like, I have a woman with a voice, that voice that can change the world. So that's what Lenin did to me.
Wow.
Yeah. Is it my turn now?
Okay, if you want to start, like however you want to go.
Whatever.
All right, Urvi. Yeah, Urvi.
All right, so Lenin has had, I would say, multiple impacts on my life. On a personal front, it has really, it helped me come out of that lo kya kahenge syndrome, where, what are people going to think as a working mother? I'm going to leave my kids behind for a meeting and ask my husband to take care of it. Are my parents going to perceive it okay? Is society going to perceive it okay? I've really come out of that syndrome. So this Lenin has really helped me come out of it. Then it has helped me make my partner a real partner. So even while I'm sitting at this panel today, or doing other things, or critical meetings, or doing something important about my career, my husband has realized that for both of us to have a career or be somewhere in our lives, we both have to equally contribute towards the whole thing. So he would help me take kids to the doctor, get their shots. There's nothing like it's all my responsibility. So this whole thing has helped me make my partner a real partner, and somewhere my partner is also realized it, and we both really contribute. And then it has helped me understand my needs, what I want out of my life, my career, and at what stage of my life I want it. So I'll just give you an example. I always wanted to get to MBA. I had not done it when I got married, so I had a master's degree, but somewhere in my heart of hearts, I really wanted to do something from the top-notch school of the US and get to it. So I had my older daughter, and I really wanted to get to the MBA, and it never happened. I got some of the best roles at Citigroup, New York, and my kids started taking priority in India. Move was on the card. So there were things that were happening, and education took a back seat. So of course it never happened. And then India happened, and then suddenly I got this opportunity to be part of the Chicago Booth program. It was a 1-year program where I had to travel to Hong Kong, to the US. There were things that were run out of Delhi. There were classes on and off. There's a lot of reading material, which meant it was, 1 year I had to write off my personal life. It meant that my husband had to step up for that 1 year and look after the kids, and my career, my skills upgradation would take a priority over everything else. And had Lenin not been there, these guys not been there, I would have never had the courage to sort of think that way and say, okay, yes, I'm going to do it, and this is what I want to do at this stage in my life, and this is how I want to prioritize it. So yes, so I think in nutshell, Lenin has taught me to be unapologetically ambitious.
Wow.
And that's what it is.
I would like to continue Urvi's thought, unapologetically ambitious, because that's what something that resonates with me as well, big time. Yes, so I come from a very, very conservative family, and I am sure all of us can relate to it. So had Lenin not been there, I've seen this, I've been seeing this ever since the age of 2 or 3, or maybe even younger, even when I don't even know. I don't have that memories either. So yeah, I've been seeing that the boys and the men in the family were being treated differently from the girls and the women in the family. So my mom had certain responsibilities and my dad had certain responsibilities, and these could not overlap no matter what. And the no matter what actually pinched me big time. So yes, and then one of my senior leaders at work gave me this book when these circles were being launched in our company in 2015, as I was talking about earlier. So I read this book. I was like, okay, so this is not just India thing, and this is not just what's happening inside my house. It's like all over the world. Maybe it's not as big in some parts of the world, but yes, the issue is still there. The gender biasness, and then, as Sanya will maybe tell you, that yes, as a woman, you should not think too big. You have certain restrictions, and that's what something that never resonated with me. I was like, no, I want my hair short. I will keep my hair short, no matter what. So it's my way. So I saw this. What is that called? Banner in Karol Bagh, and I sent this first thing to Sanya: be yourself, the world will adjust. So so yeah, that's the impact that Lenin has on me, and then it resonates with people whom I meet and talk to on a daily basis. So yes, after reading this book, I was more confident after being a part of this circle that I've been leading, and uh, in my company, and then of course with the Lenin India community level as well. The impact has been humongous. I can say for my own good that yes, what I thought I would be at this age and what I am today, there is a stark difference. So the credit definitely goes to the book, the person who wrote it, Cheryl, the people who brought it to India, and yes, to everyone that I meet, and we continue to inspire each other. So thank you, Sanya. Thank you for writing the book. I'm more than excited to read it. I've already read it in pieces, and I know my stories are already inside the book. So I would rather read it in full, and then I'll give you more comments, and maybe that's the fodder for the next book.
Wow.
Thank
Be
you.
yourself, the world will adjust. That's a great thought. So, apart from that you all read Cheryl's book, what were the other reasons that you started Lean in India in the first place? Could you talk about it a little? So, we'll go in the same order now.
It's a long list. That's how like start, Sanya.
You guys can add on to the points, whatever you feel is common, and then add on to the points. Yeah. But it's great listening to you all. I'm loving it.
So why we started Lean in India, as already we have mentioned, I think first I'll say why I started Lean in Circle was a very small aim to there was this conversations that used to go on in my friend circle that about what all things we'll have to accept in life, and I had heard those things since in my graduation days as well. So, and I had seen, having read the book, I was aware what is happening, where this is coming from for them. And also, I had seen them. They were all Hansraj students who were actually. Why are you laughing? No, there are no Hansraj students here. They are yet to come. I mean, they were all students who did well in their 11th and 12th. They had,
Scored well according to
in
the
their,
DU standards.
to get into a college like Hansraj, and then they were so good at coding and the work that they did, but still they did not have enough confidence. And I used to hear them saying कि नहीं, जो लड़के coding करते हैं ना वो हम नहीं कर सकते. Why, like, who are these guys? I don't know. And I mean, that confidence, I mean, they can see, like, they were brilliant in their studies, but still they didn't have that confidence. And they thought that ultimately after marriage we'll have to accept the fact that we'll have to leave, or having kids after marriage, or having kids, we'll have to let our career go off. So I think that Lenin helped me. Starting a Lenin circle was basically to change that mindset, because I didn't want that mindset to go on around me, because I am someone who will get very easily influenced by my friends. So starting a circle was that I wanted to change that mindset, and I really wanted that the way Cheryl or the book has changed my mindset. I wanted to change at least one life, one person's mindset, or actually not just change their mindset, but make them realize what they want. Sometimes it's okay to want those things. It's okay to leave career, or take care of your children, but you should know that you don't have to accept it because the society says it. It should be your choice. So I mean, making them realize what they really want, and the confidence things, the confidence building activities we did. So Lenin Circle was for that, and starting a Lenin Circle was basically for my friends. But starting Lenin India was so that I can help more and more women start, who were stuck in a situation like me, who wanted to do a lot of things but were sort of not having that support and not having a platform to start speaking. Lunch breaks are not a place where you can talk to the girls around you that, okay, this is what we want to talk to you about today. But Lenin Circle is setting up a meeting and saying that, okay, this is let's talk about this, has actually opened a lot of minds. So the aim was to help those women start circles in their campuses, and then communities, companies, it grew on. Go ahead.
I, in fact, have a different story, but it all boils down to the same mindset, I'd say. I was I had to choose which major for engineering I had to pick up. So Sanya is like a computer freak. I'm like, anything related to tech, Sanya sambhal le, mujhse nahi hoga. That's how much I used to be, scared of anything related to computers, hardware, software. I'm like, I don't understand. It took me 2-3 years to figure out the difference between the two. That's how much I hated it, and I was scared most of the time. But then again, if I had something in my hand, I'm feeling like very handsy. If I have something in my hand, I can assemble, I can open it up, I'll try to understand its meaning. And when we were deciding my major for engineering, and I was pretty old, I was 17 years old, and I was supposed to have a voice of my own and say what I like, but I just could not. So somebody very close to me said, computer science le ladkiyan wahi karti hain. I'm like, what? I was very innocent back then. I can vouch for it.
I'll come back to this thought. Just remind me.
Yes, I'll do that. So I was like, okay, लड़के mechanical engineering नहीं करेंगी. Papa, so my father's a mechanical engineer, and I've been very handsy like him. So I thought I might just choose it up. Papa कहते नहीं होगा, it's okay, don't. And then his friends came. Oh, they just came to my house and they all started एंड दे वर लाइक छोड़ दो मैकेनिकल क्या लेने, तुमसे नहीं हो पाएगा, लड़कियों से नहीं हो पाती है, अरे क्या करोगी करके. बोला अरे I until that time in my life I had never cross questioned anyone who's elder to me, and I was like I've had it enough. 17 years of this bullshit enough. मैंने कहा अंकल आपने क्या कर लिया? That was my no exactly. I said आपने क्या कर लिया? And that was my reaction to him, and that's all I could say. And then I actually took up mechanical engineering, and I decided, and my father told me, this is your decision. He was, and I was in Mumbai, and he dropped me to Delhi, and he said, you are taking this decision, you have the sole responsibility. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I have the responsibility. I had no idea what I was doing. But then again, I knew I'd be good at it. And at the end of 4 years, I called up my father from US. We had just competed in a competition, we had built that car. And I've been on and on with it for 4 years. And I just called him up and I said, you know what? Tell that uncle of yours, वो नहीं गए थे US. World rank उनकी 7वीं नहीं आई थी, लड़की की आई है. So just remind that to him. Just remind that to him. And ever since it's been like a crazy journey. And I know if I can do it, so can anyone else. It's not about your gender, it's about your passion. Whatever you have passion for, whatever your heart responds to, and when you look at it, you forget your sleep, food, and everything, which are two most important things of my life. That's your passion. So that's how I know. And when I saw if I can do it, there are so many women out there. And the best part I was lucky to be in a girls' college. I used to blame it all. I came from Mumbai, co-ed environment, to Delhi's girls' college. Everybody used to like, how do you survive? And I ask myself that question every day, but then again I realized that's so sexist of me to say that. Yes. That is so sexist of me. And when I actually started noticing women around me, they were so inspiring because the way they deal with everything around them and not make a big deal out of it. The way they adjust to the environment and then again still do whatever they want to. I said, this needs to be talked about. That was the whole idea of, even starting my own first circle. Let's have a place where we don't talk about our nail paints. Let's talk about books instead. And ever since that, like she said, it's been like a journey uphill.
Lovely. Urvi, would you like to go next?
So basically, when I was back in the US, my manager came to me one day and she said, would you like to contribute to issues related to women empowerment? And at that time I was with City, and City had something called as Women's Leadership Council. So and of course, I felt it was my way to sort of contribute back to the community, and I said yes. And I had the opportunity to become the leader for some of the initiatives at the Women's Leadership Council there. So that was when my first exposure to these kind of issues happened, and it sort of gave me a different insight into this kind of a world, and I started feeling strongly about it. And so when I came to India, I was also looking for a similar forum. So I started reading the book Lean In, and that's when I was very inquisitive about joining the Lean In India. And I still remember I applied for my first role through I think it was published probably on Facebook. They were looking for a social media manager, and I sort of applied for it. And I had a few conversations with some of them, and I got through Lean In India being the social media manager. And of course, I still remember I was hired for LinkedIn, and I started making the post, and that's when I started making the progression. From there I moved on to being the marketing lead, and then I brought this booth opportunity because I just graduated from my booth program, and I wanted to do something together. Both of them are very prestigious institutes in themselves, bring some of the best ideas in the world. So it's like, let's marry them together, and I did my first collaboration with them last year, and that's when I sort of went on to become the chapter lead here. So basically, it's now become a passion project for me. I feel it gives me the opportunity to give my 2 cents back to the community and sort of interact with both men and women who strongly feel about these sore issues in life, where equal pay issues or gender gaps or women not getting as much opportunities or any kind of racial societal issues that we sort of abound with. So I think it gives me an opportunity to meet a lot of like-minded people and sort of then take it forward. So I think it's a real passion for me now, and sky's the limit to sort of take it wherever it goes.
लड़कियां हाथ से काम नहीं करती है, मैकेनिकल ये सब रोल नहीं होते उनसे.
हाँ, so when I was choosing my stream in 11th, two options, engineering or medical. I wanted to do engineering, but yes, क्योंकि लड़कियां engineering नहीं करती हैं शायद. हाँ, if it's a choice between medical and engineering, so medical is for girls and engineering is for boys, at least in my department, in my home department. So okay, do medical. Okay, so I did medical. Yes, I did not want to do it, but I did it. And yes, after a all India rank, I said okay, अब क्या नहीं करती हैं लड़कियाँ, अब बताओ, ये तो मुझे करना नहीं है. तो दे सेड कि अच्छा लड़कियाँ हाँ फिनेंसेस में भी नहीं जाती हैं, नंबर्स पैसे ये कौन खेलता है. So then I was like okay, now this is something I want to do. I have taken 4.5 years of what you wanted to do, so now I want to do 2 years of what I want to do, and I am interested in maths. I am interested in these numbers. I used to see the stock market daily from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. और कोई चैनल था ही नहीं हमारे पास, सिर्फ CNBC ही चलता था. So I was so passionate about these numbers and all these how is the stock market going up and going down. And again, after a lot of resistance from the family that no, finance is not for girls, I was like okay, please, nothing is for girls and nothing is for boys. Now I have done 4.5 years of medical that you wanted me to do. Now I will change my stream and I'll do a complete U-turn. I'll do what I want to do. So I did maths, I did finance. It was tough, yes, but I did it anyway, and then I ended up as a university topper. So yes, there's nothing called as कि again gender वाला कोई सी नहीं है. It's not, as we have been talking about for the last half an hour, I think. So yes, and then because I see that a lot of this keeps on happening on a daily basis, and these decisions are taken every day, and this is a very common thing that happens. So I want to further this thought in the entire community, first India and then of course to the rest of the world. And that's why I wanted to join hands with Sanya, and that's why I called her one fine day that Sanya, tell me more about what you do and how can I contribute. It was a very open-ended question. I remember that conversation, and that's how I joined Lean In officially. Apart from that, yes, I was a part of the Women's Interest Network at my company, as Urvi was at City.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. So being a part of Lean In, what are your core leadership values? Sanya?
Okay. I'd say empathetic leadership is what makes any. I think it's an era of empathetic leadership, and women actually have a lot of role to play in that because they actually have the patience to listen to what other person has to say. Starts there until unless you listen to the other person, could be your junior, senior, or your cohort. Anyone, you have to listen to that person first. And second is accepting the fact that you can be wrong. And this is something that I have learned with Lean In, and over time, that's what I said and I meant, that I have grown with Lean In. You can be wrong, your thoughts can be wrong, given whatever age group you are, and you are supposed to change it and update yourself. It's like a goddamn software. I get it now. You have to update it every year, every month. You know, whenever there's an update in the world, you have to update yourself because survival of the fittest. We live in a community right now, and I do understand that there were a lot of I never really understood the concepts of feminism initially. I accept that everywhere I go, but then again I understood the need of it. So learning, no matter what, accepting your mistakes, and empathetic leadership have been three things. And fourth, that is very close to my heart, and that is keep your personal and your private life away from your from your company or any place that you're working in, because when emotions get involved, you don't think straight. Emotions should be, I've learned this again, that emotions should be used as a trigger to find out what's wrong, but then again use your rational to find out what is right and be on that path. So these are some 4 core learnings that I've had in the last 4 years of leaning in. Very high level overview, simply put.
So I'll talk about my experience of leading the content writing team, which I did as a first project with Lean in India. So this Lean in content writing team had people from all parts of India, and some were even settled abroad. So, and there were people from all ages. There was a girl who was 19, there was a woman who was 54, and there was one other woman who was, I think, maybe even more than 54. She did not disclose her age, I did not ask. So there was a huge variety of people I was dealing with, and since they were settled all across, I did not get to meet these people. We were only having emails and WhatsApp conversations and chats and calls. So that was a very humbling experience, and I got to know perspectives from different people, from different cultures, from different age groups. And I was also leading a new team at my office, so that really helped in my professional career as well. So my leadership 2 cents would be: listen to everyone. Everyone might have a different perspective, and you might not understand that really well, but yes, try to gather more information from that particular person and see if, don't think from only your shoes. See from their perspective what they are saying. Maybe it's not making any sense to you, but yes, deep dive. See if what they are trying to say is actually their situation, and that's really, you can't do much about it, or maybe you can help it in a different manner. So yes, different perspectives. Be open to different perspectives, and be open to learn from people from either who are your juniors, seniors. Again, there is no such thing like that. Be open to learn, and see, everyone has something to teach you. That's what I really learned from my content writing experience. That was a wonderful time. I thank Sanya and Gayatri every day for that.
So learning and growing together is the key. Urvi, would you like to go next?
Basically, a few things. One, of course, is be yourself. So, when you're a leader, I think it's very important to have that originality rather than emulating others. So, I think a lot of your leadership style gets influenced by what your personal stories are, what your struggles are, what are your successes, what are your failures, and somewhere it sort of cascades in that style. And I feel when that originality is there, and when you sort of leading a team or a project or an organization with that originality, that's when success really starts coming in, because that's really your core self acting. So be yourself is one. I'm a firm believer of a leadership with empathy. It's very important for us to step into other people's shoes and be mindful of their situations, their thought process, what they're thinking. Whether it's our team members, whether it's our vendors, whether it's our customers. That sense of empathy plays a big role. I have a few mentors in life, and one of the mentors is Satya Nadella, the Microsoft chief, and he's written this book called Hit Refresh. Now, he talks about how, his oldest son was suffering from a mental disorder called cerebral palsy, and he just couldn't take it when the son was born, and that sort of was a game changer in his life, when that sense of empathy sort of dawned on him, and he started being more mindful of the people around him. So he talks about how he's hitting that refresh button across Microsoft as an organization, that inculcating that sense of empathy across the complete organization, and telling people, the whole Microsoft cohort, to be more mindful of not only their peers, their vendors, their customers, but everyone around them. And that's when a sense of innovation comes in the organization. That's when the organization truly starts moving forward. And it's actually demonstrative of the Microsoft shares. They've gained 250 million in the market share and everything. So leadership with empathy is one of my core principles that I tend to follow. And also, as a women leader, I feel we should pull other women very strongly. We should sort of understand again, as if I'm a working mother and there are other people who might be working for me who are at the verge of getting married or who are at the verge of having kids. So let's give a thought to their situation, and if suppose they need work from home or they have a sick child to take care of or an elderly parent to look after, let's be more mindful of the situation. Not that men don't have to take care of it, but as women leaders, let's support other women and pull them along with us. I think it's going to go a long way.
That's a lovely thought. Sanya?
My answer is going to be copy paste. No, I was thinking you just copied my thought. Yeah, you both. Yeah. No, my no, my since Lean in India leadership, regional leader position was almost pushed to us at a very young age. I mean, we took it up, but the responsibility came to us like a surprise. So I think the only thing that I did was be myself at that time, trust my intuition on how things will go. That's why I just trusted that, okay, the content writing program looks to be a good idea. Let's see what happens. Or even at the Lean In Circle, at that time, Lean In Circle activities were not on website. So I had to create my own activities to change the mindset. So I was like, okay, let's do this. I mean, like trusting what I thought was right. So just and just doing what I believed in. So that I think be yourself is one of my core values. And second is taking feedback. That was actually a feedback given to me when I led my first circle by leanin.org team members, that you've led the circle, now ask for feedback. And it is very difficult to accept when it's completely conflicting than your belief. But as she said, when you take more data, you actually try to understand their point of view. I think we all have had in our leadership team very conflicting views, especially me and Rashmeet. We have at times had completely opposite views, but when we gather data, we both kind of come at the same on the same lines, when on the same page. Thank you. Yeah, yeah, that's why diversity is important. Yeah.
Okay, so since we all are here for Sanya's book, One Action Towards Women's Dream and Ambitions, I'd like to take one question from the title itself. What is that one action that you would want people to take up, or you yourself would want to take up? And Sanya's not going to answer first now. We'll start with you.
I think the most important lessons in life are also the ones that are the most simple and also the ones that are most overlooked. So there's one thought that comes to my mind when I think of that one action, which is, if you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, which means, so continuing that thought, if when I start looking at things more positively with a motivational mindset, with a powerful mindset, I think the life transforms into an amazing adventure it's meant to be. There is no such thing as reality, I believe. The reality is what we make of things from our own thought process, from our thinking. So we should see ourselves being successful, winning that thing, set ourselves for targets and get to those targets. I think what I'm trying to say is just look at things with a more positive mindset, with a motivational mindset. Let go of all your biases, let go of all your baggages, and trust me, it helps nobody. It should be about you and your success, and not can you or how can you. I think that's what it is.
I'll just repeat what I said 4 years back. I used to work for No Country for Women before I actually became a part of Lean In. And there, somebody asked the exact same question. What is the one idea that can change the world for women? So I said, I thought a lot about it, but I've followed that through and it has always helped me. I'd repeat it again. Standing up against the smallest gesture of inequality that tends to discriminate you purely on the basis of your gender and age. No matter who you're standing against, be it your own father, be it your own brother, or be it somebody else you don't know. Stand up against that smallest gesture of inequality, because it starts there. The smallest thing, just point out. I've been doing that and I'll continue to be at it.
So I would say dream big. I come from a sports background, and so this dream big is also slightly related to that field. So dreaming big, working with Sanya and Rashmeet, I was going back to my journey. I was thinking, okay, how the journey has been for the last 2 or 2.5 years, and one thing that I've seen is. I never thought that I would be working on such big projects and working with such big prestigious institutions, people. So dreaming big, and as Cheryl only says, what will you do if you were not afraid? So dreaming big is the first thing. That's the thing that I would want people to take home. That yes, first of all, dream it, and then yes, impossible is no such thing. It's nothing. So again, the Nike thing, sports background. Yes. So dream big, and even if you have not thought about something as big, you would be working on that, and all your dreams would come true. This is a dream come true. Sitting at a panel was one of my dreams. And thank you, Sanya. Today is a dream come true day. Hashtag dream come true. Thank you. Thank you.
Sanya. Yeah.
After Sanya is done, I'm going to ask a question.
All right.
Okay. So surprise test. So my I think one action I've written about in the book as well is not just for organizations but for families as well to start having conversations, difficult conversations. I would say so-called difficult conversations in their like about each and everything, especially when not just actually when the kids are growing up or something, but whatever situation your family is in. I'm damn sure in India people don't have those kind of conversations about what the young what the kids really want or what they feel like. I don't think there's a conversation about feelings or emotions in families. Sorry to mention Bollywood, but there is a scene in Dil Dhadakne Do where Ranveer Singh says, "Ab ऊपर से बात नहीं करनी, actual बात करनी है." That is the one action that I think Indian people need to start taking. Start talking to each other in families for real. Like start showing love to each other for real, not just the fake one.
I was doing push for the company and the women.
Panelists to move forward to formally release the book. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for One Action Towards Women's Dream and Ambitions by Sanya Khurana.
Don't be like Lokya Kanji.
Should we remove this from Candy?
Yeah.
पता चलना चाहिए ना कि अभी लॉन्च हुई है.
तालियां तो बनती है for the group. Congratulations, Sanya. Best wishes. Yeah, please join them on the stage. So, ma'am, please.
Just for the photograph, no credits. Sir. Sir.
Okay, so we now have a short break. You can. So by now we all know a lot about Sanya, but here are a couple of more questions that I'd like to ask her. So Sanya, the first question that I have is, how did your friends and family react when you told them that you're writing a book? And now that your book is published, what is their reaction now?
Friends and family, well, both of them are quite similar. I mean, when I started writing the book, it was it was a thought that came from my father initially, and from one of my friends that I met while interning in IBM. And but at that time I was like, let me go through my placements and all, and let's see what's happening. And after when I thought of writing a book, I mean, when I told them, it was a very encouraging reaction.
Okay. Yeah.
Like it was a very encouraging. I did not tell most of my friends. Actually, I told my parents. And the thing is that in last 2 years, I have many times thought that nahi yaar, nahi hoga. So it's like, okay, they are supportive of all the ideas that I have and all the ideas that I drop. So
Okay.
kind of.
Okay, so I can actually see that uncle is very happy and ma'am is extremely happy. She has that big smile over her face throughout the whole event. So congratulations to you too. And so your book talks about breaking the barriers and the constructed notions of patriarchy in the society. Any particular event or incident apart from your school that motivated you to write the book?
I think I was, like I said, that I was in the process of writing the book, and it was like very, it had a lot of breaks. Sometimes I used to write, sometimes I used to think nahi hoga and all that. But there was one incident, I think I read it in the newspaper, and an IITian, an IITian girl hanged herself because of dowry. She's an IITian, and her parents were like, had we not spent her the money we had in her education and kept it for our dowry, she would have at least been alive. I mean,
That's
that
sad.
kind of, and somehow I felt that it's not a suicide. Somehow the society is responsible for what she did, and it's going to happen again and again. And I speak about dowry, domestic violence, and everything in my book. That is the reason. So I was like, I will do my part to make sure that at least the people who read my book or have reached, have the reach of lean in, have the support of community, don't take this step of
Ending up your life.
ending up their lives,
Committing
and
suicide.
of committing suicide. So I think that was one moment I was like, ये book तो अब publish होगी
That's
and
great.
it's going to reach more and more women.
Yeah.
Like that's my idea.
So Sanya, we all know that it definitely takes a lot of courage and strength to talk about social issues, and especially on a bigger platform. And your book does that. So what motivated you to do that?
The answer is that we were motivation I got from my Lean in India community. Encouragement I got from the global Lean community, to just like that support that I had actually made me talk about these things. And in Lean community, people were so accepting of me, so loving, that that there was a confidence that I can do it. So that actually motivated me to start a Lean circle. Yeah.
So Lean has a major role in your development and
A lot.
Okay. So, did you face any kind of criticism or any setbacks while you were talking about gender stereotypes on a major platform?
Yes, a lot. In fact, to be surprised. One there were two kinds of criticisms that two kinds of people that criticized me. One was some relatives, some uncles who were completely against what are you talking about kind of thing. But the second was the people who had actually spent their lives talking about feminism were against Lenin.
Oh.
And it was so surprising, and they were not just against, they crushed me almost. I remember this particular incident at a women's conference, women in technology conference, where at that time we were not very equipped with handling and talking to people. So being the sensitive me, she started talking about what Lenin has done and what role Lenin has, and she said that you keep talking about things, but how can talking to your parents change things? You just need to men don't talk to their parents, why do women need to talk to their parents? Men just run away. I'm like, which son runs away from their houses? But at that time I was not able to speak this confidently, and the tone she had and the way she was speaking made me brought me down into tears in 15 minutes, and I cried for half an hour. Like I went back to my hotel and I just cried and I was like, मैं सब छोड़ रही हूँ, मुझे नहीं करना ये सब. And there were so many other women that I met, even for the book I went to them that I want to write about you because you have done so much for women, and they are pro women getting educated, but they are against the fact that men will have to do their part at home. They are like, men, how can men male self-respect will
Get hurt.
men will lose their self-respect if they start doing the work at home. They are in favor of women getting educated, but not in favor of women not doing their part at home. Like it's just little discomforting to them.
It's a little shallow too.
Yeah.
Double standards.
So I think and it was not, they did not even want to have a conversation. I got a very major pushback from their side. So like that was
Okay. So any other social concerns you'd like to talk about in your upcoming books?
upcoming books.
Like we all are wondering that if Sanya is going to write another book.
Well, it's little difficult. So 2 years I took the time to write the book, and in last 2 years a lot of things have happened. so I think my next books will be more on emotional well-being, being mindful, and a lot of things that are less talked about, like how to get over a breakup from a friendship. A friendship breakup, and how to, and we have been talking about it in our Lenin circles, and how to how get over, there's a term called ghosting. So whenever I go through some kind of incident, now I research about it in a book. And I do collect my data, and I tell it to my circle, and then I get their validation कि अच्छा हमारे साथ भी यही हुआ था, and then I'm like, okay, now this needs to be talked about. So I think a lot has happened in last 2 years, from ghosting to me me being able to handle situations emotionally, whether it was at work or even in Lenin. So might be, if I ever get to write a book, those things might come up.
I'm sure we all are looking forward to that. Okay, so you said that you took 2 years to write this one book.
Yeah.
How do you overcome a writer's block in this process?
So writer's block, I think one was that doing a course online was one step. So I think I started doing what I have written in my book. I took one step at a time. So it was like, first was Google how to write a book. Okay. Then was go through the courses and everything. Then attend events where I can meet authors. One of the events that I attended, the author said, just start writing randomly. So I used to go to the libraries, read books of similar genre, and write whatever I thought of. and those words are not in the book, like they were so random. But that's how it started. I mean, just I mean, getting people, networking with people who are authors and asking them the same question actually helps.
Okay. So, any particular book or any favorite author apart from Sheryl Sandberg that motivated you to write or that has had a huge impact on your writing?
Yeah, I think Mel Robbins has book on 5 second rule and stop saying it's fine, and she encourages people to actually stop being stuck in their monotonous life and take actions. So so Mel Robbins, yeah.
Okay.
Mel Robbins.
Great. So, Sanya, what do you feel could be one of the possible solutions to eradicate and break through the chains of patriarchy? And what message would you like to give out to the women out there who are, suppressed by the men and their ambitions, and majorly everything in their lives is controlled by the men?
I would say, I mean, I know it's difficult to say something to those women because who are in such situations and such, in fact, I would say such relationships. I mean, they are so brainwashed about themselves and about everything that they won't listen to me or anyone. Yeah. But I think getting out of their homes and networking, why we have this concept of lean in circle is because we get out of our workplaces and our homes and talk to people who have similar stories and get solutions. So I think not even though they don't, even if they don't want to join a lean in circle, just getting out and going to events that they like music events, dance events, even if they are cooking events, just going out and doing something productive, joining something, that is something that I would ask them to do, because that will
Initiate a change. Yeah.
one thing, that'll be the one action, and
Yeah.
then further it will grow.
Yeah.
I want to interrupt.
Okay.
While you were expressing your thoughts, one song came up in mind. I don't know if anybody was watching this serial called Meher on national TV, and in that serial there are these lines, when the serial starts, जिंदगी है देन खुदा की, जीने का हक मेरा है, ज़मीं पर है आसमां छूने का हक मेरा है, मेरे अरमा मेरे सपने मेरे अरमा कैद करे क्यों इन्हें जहाँ, अंधेरा हर दूर करूँगी हर सपना मैं समथिंग so सांसे खुदा की महर means this was very powerful. It is feeling right now very powerful that the message in that song is very powerful and very relevant to what we are talking about right now.
That's beautiful. Yeah. So you mentioned how it is necessary to accept oneself. So how important is the idea of self-love to you?
Well, self-love, as I mean, it's something that I have not been able to attain yet, because I have gone through years of self-hatred. I mean, I've also mentioned in the book that the first time I hated myself was when I realized Kuch Kuch Hota Hai mein that Anjali was, I had short hair, so that when Shah Rukh Khan says that "Acha tum ladkiyon jaisi nahi ho," it was like he was telling me कि you are not like a girl. So at that small age, and that movie came when I was 6. I think later I went through that process, and so that was the age when self-hatred started. So actually, I'm not like, there's something different about me or something like that. So, and self-love I got to know like 3-4 years back. So I'm still in the process of accepting myself, loving myself, and thankfully I have friends now who are now who are supportive. No, not just with lean, and even at work I have better friends. So that I still need external validation, but yeah, hopefully I'll achieve self-love someday.
The process is ongoing.
Yeah, and the idea of lean in, the idea of writing a book was that I don't want any woman to go through that same journey at all. Like, I want it to be eradicated from the country.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not the least, any message to your friends or the authors out there who are still struggling to write a book, or a way to express their feelings or their concerns?
Any message? What? Like what? I think a message that I can give is that no matter how difficult it is, I mean, I know, I understand that when you think of writing something, the first, yeah, like you get blank. So take small actions, just like I've written in the book. Take small actions, just a simple action like googling how to write a book, or just a simple action like don't think of writing a book first. Think of writing 100-word essay on what your thoughts are, not just what the book is going to be about, just what your thoughts are. And in my case, my aim has not been to become an author, to become a TEDx speaker. My aim has been to कि कुछ भी करके I am going to spread this message, and that's why book is like one of those.
Okay.
So be clear about your aim. Like it should not be to become an author. It should be to express your ideas and what those ideas are, and also just write random. Just start random with.
Just begin.
Yeah, just begin.
In the first place.
Yeah.
All right, Sanya, thank you so much. That was lovely.
Thank you.
And I would like Sanya to address you all further.
Word of thanks.
Yeah, a vote of thanks, precisely.